While Friends is beloved, these other sitcoms are actually better. It's hard to deny the place that the 90s series has in popular culture, from Ross Geller's David Schwimmer pivot line to the quirks of the hilarious Phoebe Buffay, Lisa Kudrow. And most of the show is great to revisit, whether we need cheering up or want to see a favorite episode again. But although Friends will always be a fan favorite, other sitcoms have more compelling friend groups or a premise that stands out more. From some other 1990s comedies that were on the air at the same time to an underrated 2010 show, these sitcoms are even more enjoyable than the story of six pals living in NYC. Cougar Town, 2009 to 2015. Cougar Town may have a silly title, but despite the cliché stereotype of a sexually active older woman being labeled a cougar, the ABC-TBS sitcom is an authentic exploration of life in your 40s. Most of all, it's a more honest look at the complexities of dating than Friends. While Rachel Green, Jennifer Aniston, and her pals go on awkward first dates or have more lengthy relationships, these storylines are played for laughs, and we don't always feel genuine emotion. Chandler Bing's Matthew Perry long-term romance with Janice, Maggie Wheeler, for instance, is mostly about how irritating he finds her and how it's tough for him to end things. Jules Cobb's Courtney Cox relationship with Grayson Ellis, Josh Hopkins, on the other hand, is moving and realistic. When she gathers everyone for Thanksgiving and hopes he'll tell her he loves her, it's a relatable storyline, even if we know she's approaching this wrong. Happy Endings, 2011 to 2013. Happy Endings has a fascinating premise, but sometimes gets lost as it didn't have the same pop culture impact as other friendship sitcoms. After Alex, Alicia Cuthbert, breaks up with Dave, Zachary Knighton, on their wedding day, the friend group has to adjust, and it's a hilarious and sweet story. It's the character of Penny, however, who makes Happy Endings work so well. Thanks to Casey Wilson's strong performance, Penny is a better quirky member of the friend group, the sometimes frustrating Phoebe who can be more goofy than funny. Penny is perfectly honest, and it's fun watching her try to give the others advice while living her own messy life. Will and Grace, 1998 to 2006. Friends may explore the close friendship between the six main characters, but there's something special about the bond at the heart of Will and Grace. Since there's romantic tension between many on Friends, and even Joey Tribbiani, Matt LeBlanc, and Rachel Date, things can get too messy. Will and Grace has a more moving depiction of a long-term friendship, complete with arguments, jealousy, and doing the wrong thing sometimes. Season 2 is a particularly compelling look at what it's like to be such a big part of someone's world and how no one is perfect. Whether Grace Adler, Deborah Messing, and Will Truman, Eric McCormack, are trying to befriend younger people in I Never Promised You an Olive Garden, or he tries but fails to help a client pay Grace in the previous episode, we get a full picture of a long, compassionate friendship where both people make mistakes. Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, 2012 to 2013. It's fun to watch Rachel and Monica Geller, Courtney Cox, live together, but the size of their apartment and how they could really afford that high New York City rent is often a distraction. Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, on the other hand, tells a better roommate story and also captures the anxiety of being young. As ambitious June Colburn, Dreamer Walker, begins living with the more confident and chaotic Chloe, Kristen Ritter, it's compelling to see how their opposite personalities work together. We feel all the ups and downs of June's attempts to make it in her career, along with her real fears about affording rent. It's also hard to beat James Van Der Beek, who stars on the show as himself, although a more intense version. He adds a fun, memorable element that sets the show apart from other sitcoms with New York settings. Mad About You, 1992 to 1999. Friends may have unforgettable lines like Joey's "How you doing?" catchphrase or explanation of a moo point, but Mad About You is a more endearing sitcom from the time period. The series explores the marriage of Jamie, Helen Hunt, and Paul Buckman, Paul Racer, along with career issues, and has much smarter and funnier dialogue. Whether the couple is discussing their intimate life or Jamie proves she can't cook when she says, "We're having lasagna." There is a recipe in the back of a Rice Krispies box, they're always fully themselves. And while Rachel has several fashion-related jobs, watching Jamie work in PR and Paul struggle to make documentaries is arguably more interesting. The relationships on Friends are sometimes overly dramatic, as Ross, David Schwimmer, and Rachel spend a good portion of the sitcom upset with each other instead of making up and moving on with their lives. It's nice seeing the stability Jamie and Paul have, but they're never dull. Frasier, 1993 to 2004. Frasier may be as popular as Friends, but it's a quirkier show, which helps it stand out. The "Tossed Salad and Scrambled Eggs" theme song is charming and hilarious, and Niles, David Hyde Pierce, and Frasier Crane, Kelsey Grammer, move through life with their singular confidence and stubbornness. Since Ross and Monica are siblings, Friends explores themes like family pressure and how to grow up while still staying close to someone who has known you your entire life. But Frasier is a more compelling sitcom about family, and it's relatable and interesting seeing the ups and downs of Frasier moving in with his father, Martin, John Mahoney. New Girl, 2011 to 2018. New Girl is a more fun depiction of roommate life than Friends, and although we enjoy seeing Chandler and Joey or Rachel or Monica share a space, the show would still feel the same if they didn't actually live together. Jess Day, Zooey Deschanel, and her roommates' pranks are always entertaining, and they also adjust to each other's different personalities. It's also fair to say that New Girl has aged better. While not enough compassion is given to Ross's ex-wife, Carol, Jane Sibbett, Nick's, Jake Johnson, immaturity still feels charming most of the time. And Schmidt's, Max Greenfield, unique confidence still works since he's supposed to be a jerk at the beginning of the sitcom. While the series finale of Friends hints at the way the characters' lives will change as several have settled down now, the end of New Girl actually lets us see Nick, Jess, Cease, and Schmidt playing a game with their future kids, which emphasizes the natural passage of time and the enduring nature of their bond. How I Met Your Mother, 2005 to 2014. How I Met Your Mother and Friends are often compared since they are both about close friend groups in New York City. However, the former is ultimately better as it's not only funny but powerful, too. When we watch Marshall Eriksen, Jason Segel, lose his dad in Bad News, we'll never forget his devastation. This storyline also makes him more well-rounded. It's also fair to say that Lily Aldrin, Allison Hannigan, and Marshall have a better relationship than any couple on Friends. They support each other, tell each other everything while respecting each other's need for space and individuality, and we can feel their genuine love through the TV screen. Ted Mosby, Josh Radnor, and Tracy McConnell, the